Hello and welcome to Intersection Chats. Today I am here with Claire. So, hello everyone. My name is Reme Mancera. I am a personal brand story strategist. And as I said, I am here with Claire. Hello, Claire.
Hi, Remy. Hi, I'm Claire Bannister, and I'm the Unstoppable Growth Coach. I work with women to help them grow their business.
Nice. So, today we are going to talk about how personal brand story intersects with business growth in general, because this is one of your main topics. And I would love to start by listening to your thoughts about how do you think these two topics are connected, how they affect each other, in your opinion.
Well, I think they're obviously 100% linked. Um, we own our own businesses, so we are our businesses, aren't we? And our stories form who we are. So, and I think a little bit like why we've decided to do this business that we all choose to do. So for me, it's 100% linked, and and being able to share that brand story will, I believe, help you get more grounded to your own business and why you're doing it.
Hmm. Yeah, 100%. I believe that um, sharing your personal brand story is going to help you to showcase why you do the work that you do, and what are the reasons why you started, why you are focusing on specific group of people, and then also what are your values, what is your approach to work, what makes you different. So you can use your stories as a way to highlight those benefits and the values that you bring. So what do you think, in your experience, like working with specific clients? Do you notice any difference from people that they have already defined the stories that they want to share and those that haven't worked about that topic?
Um, you know what? Majority of the women that I work with are quite hesitant to share their story. They don't. I don't think they. I think as women, we find it sometimes quite harder to put ourselves out there. We don't want to seem like we're boasting or, um, and and I want to empower women to be really proud of their journey and how they have come to where they are with their business, and to also use their personal brand story as a tool to connect with potential clients, because I really think it builds trust. And I've always said, everyone always hears me say, people buy people, right? They don't buy the
Mm,
business, they don't buy what you're offering, they buy you. And if they can feel you and get an essence of you, then I think that's a great way to do it, by sharing your brand story. Um, and I feel like quite a lot of my clients feel quite hesitant to do that. And I guess that's where I come in, because I'm helping them to understand and ensure that they're running their business from their purpose and their soul. Because sometimes they're not, right. Sometimes they're in a role or in doing a job that isn't quite connected to them. Um, but I've seen how powerful sharing your own story can be, in your marketing, but also just to get close to the people that you're connecting with and working with.
mm. Absolutely. I like how you mentioned how yeah, some of us is like we are hesitant to be like the point of attention. We are just like hesitant about sharing our stories and how will be relevant. And this is something that I like emphasize a lot, how when you are choosing strategically which parts of your story to share is going to make for you easier because you know the reasons. So there is specific and strategic reasons why you're sharing a specific part of your story. I work, instead of looking for one story, I work identifying 10 meaningful moments in your journey, and each of them is connected to one specific key factor. So I call these story connectors, by the way. So this idea that you know exactly which story are you choosing and how it's connected to your offer or to your business is helping you to be really strategic. And then it's like, okay, I am in this space. Maybe you are as a guest in a podcast, you know which story you want to share. Or let's say you are in a sales call, and then you know that your potential client has an objection, and you know one of the things that you want to highlight, because that's usually something that they are not clear about, so you can use the story as a bridge to talk about those topics. So I believe that when you have work on your foundations, you have clarity, and you get more clear about, okay, now I know why I'm sharing this,
Yes.
and you are more confident because you have the clarity and the strategy.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think sometimes, do you not find that sometimes people don't realize the impact of what they've just got on and done? You know, in our life, we just do stuff, get on, we man up, but we learn through our experiences. But sometimes I don't think we value our learnings and how they can help other people, do we? And that's what you do. You help people realize the importance of their story so that it can help others, right?
Mm. Yeah, and this is one of the things. For example, I invite the people listening to us to think about, okay, a natural skill that you have is valuable for your clients, but you are not highlighting because it's something natural to you. So think about how in your testimonials were people highlighting about the work that you do, and then think about, okay, how in my life, in other moment, maybe in a previous job that is not related to what I do now, maybe with my family and friends, or in any other aspect of my life, I was using that skill,
Mm.
something that was valuable in that scenario. Is showing that this is something not just connected to the work that you do now, but it's something connected to who you are,
Yeah.
and for you it's natural, so it's so valuable to bring. It's like, for example, if you are helping a specific group of people, there are something that they ensure they are highlighting, how you are bringing helping them to have this confidence and things like that. It's like, how powerful is that you maybe have been doing that just like organically without knowing, and then now you have also resources to help them in like the business side, but there are something that there is there that is just natural to who you are.
And everyone says, Claire, whenever we see you, we leave being feeling more confident, right? And I don't, you don't know you do that until someone starts saying, oh, actually, maybe this is a thing, right? Um, and when I chose to do this job, I took a lot of time reflecting back on what I loved from my previous roles, and it was always about empowering and
Mm.
gathering women to grow their businesses and feel really confident and like connected to themselves. That was always what I did. But I hadn't actually kind of realized that,
Mm.
until I did some story work and somebody said, right, okay, and started me talking, oh, there's a common thread here, Claire. And you just don't know it because we do what we do.
Yeah, and we are so immersed in our own story, in our own point of view, that we overlook certain things.
Yes.
So having that external point of view is it usually helpful for just, yeah, highlighting points that we have, maybe we are just overlooking, and it's just there something like, okay, something from outside, even just a peer or someone that can give you like the feedback of, okay, this is something that you might highlight. So that doesn't, it can, you can start like really simple, just
Yes.
by asking you a specific question and then having someone just to get feedback from that. So
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
That
um
is-
I'm curious to know, like, what is the process that how you work with your clients, how you help them to empower them, and I love this idea of being proud of your journey, of course.
Yeah, no, exactly. I work with female business owners who have kind of been in their business a few years, but that they're getting to that point where they can't physically work anymore, but they want to grow their business. And they're almost a bit too much in the business, and they need to sort of step out. And I think you don't know you're in there until you have somebody else walk alongside you. So I work very closely with my clients, helping them with their business processes. So understanding some real simple tools to be more effective, but also helping them understand their sort of mindset blocks that they've got and how they can unlock them. So putting the two together is pretty special, because there's some practical stuff, but there's also a a bit of like deep diving into yourself, and that's where the story comes out. Because then when they're talking to me, so I spend a lot of time getting to understand my client and their business and their teams if they've got teams, because every business is different and every woman is different. That's why I don't agree with like 10-step processes and, have that formula. I'm polar opposite to that. So I'm very bespoke. I limit my clients because I always say I get deep down and dirty with my clients. I get to really understand it because that's what I love. That's the joy I have. And then it's really easy to see their story, Reme, because when you get to work, so they become friends, but when you work alongside them, have you ever thought, did you realise you do that when you walk in a room? And they go, no, I don't know. Well, you do, and that is pretty powerful. And they don't see it, they don't understand, because we never see ourselves like others see us, do we? So my mindset work helps them grow in their confidence so that they can walk into that space and be the person that they are, accepting their past and using their past to flourish. That's
Yeah, I love that. And I work a lot with people that they have been somehow they are navigating a transition in their business. So, like they are expanding their expertise, or somehow they have a new offering to talk about. They need to introduce themselves, adding something new, and they
yeah,
are missing that clarity. And this is something that whenever you are working with someone that is in a transition like that, there are some points where they might be even wanting to like separate what they were doing before and what they are starting new,
yeah,
like kind of if they need to not talk about the previous thing. And it's like, no, embrace it. That will give a lot of different nuances of who you are. It will make your brand more memorable. And then I always invite people to try to use it, like even when you are creating content, examples, you can have a point of differentiating yourself from others, because more people can do similar services or offer, but there are no one else with your life path. So bringing that is like really getting more like the multifaceted person that you are. So showing with your stories is a nice way to do so. And then I love that you bring the idea of how no one size fits all.
yeah,
I totally agree. It's like, of course, you can have a structure or a methodology to work around,
yeah,
and then you apply that to the specific
yeah.
situation of that client.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I have
having,
lots of tools that I use in my clients to help extract the information and help them start deep diving and thinking about themselves. But it wouldn't be that I go, right, Remy, here's all my 20 tools. You need to use all of them now. It isn't. I get to know you first and then go, right, do you
yeah,
want to try that one on? Because that one might work for you and it might not, and that's fine. Because everybody works in very different ways, don't they? And and as women, typically we are juggling a lot of balls all of the time and doing a really damn good job at it. And they don't need me to give them 45 other things to do.
yes. And yeah, and it's like, because it's like, okay, what is the business that they have? What is the lifestyle that they want to have with this business going well? And it's like, okay, what is your version of success? Because for some people might be one and for the different. So having clarity in that, I don't know in your experience, but for me it's so important for people just to remind that it's like, you don't need to want whatever the next guru is telling you. You just check what is that. And for I am following someone on threads, and she's like, my version of success is having the possibility to take a nap whenever, whichever day I want. And it's like, yeah, this is just
I like
your
that.
way of like seeing if you are in the right track or not. And for me, maybe it's just going and do a hike into nature
Yeah.
whenever I want. I have the flexibility in my calendar to do that. And that's for me a version of how I'm running my business in the way that I want to run. And for others might be having a team of 50 people and
Yeah.
having impact on them. And that's beautiful, but it's different from each one. So I would love you to know your thoughts on this, of
I mean,
course.
I totally agree. I mean, I think when I started this job, I've had, you know, big career sort of thing. And when I started this, I was like, I had big visions and I was going to do this. And actually, it's not that. It's not that. It's about helping and impacting as many people as I can. But it isn't about having a big business. It's about trying to gather as many women as I can. But and also having worked with my clients, I think what we sometimes go into business thinking we want, our lives change and evolve, and what we want should change and evolve. But sometimes I think we hang on to the thing that we thought we wanted and almost use it as a stick to beat ourselves up, going, well, I haven't got that yet, I haven't got that yet, you know. And actually, do we often sit back and go, is that actually what I want now? It might not be, because the kids have grown up, or whatever those nuances are in our business. It's not always one size fits all. And I always encourage my clients, you know, don't compare yourself to anybody else in the same industry, because you know, you and I know a lot of amazing coaches who are, you know, a very different stage from me in my business. They're on chapter 22. I'm on chapter 2. And that's fine.
Yeah.
That's really fine. And if we start comparing ourselves to everybody else, that's when you shrink and you don't tell your story, because you
Mm.
just feel like your story is not as worthy as anyone else. And
Yeah.
that's not true.
Yeah, and I love it that you mentioned the idea of evolving. Is your business is going to evolve, you are going to evolve, and that's like just like in the nature seasons, and every culture is evolving. So it's like, okay, ask yourself again. It's not just one question, one time that you ask yourself. It's like something that you will do frequently, and then also like nothing is set in stone. You can have one idea, and then you learn and you saw different things, and you say, okay, maybe this I want to try this, or so you are open to experiment, and then it's like you can change your mind, and you can see different things that you are interested, or you in your life are in different seasons. So it's okay that you evolve, and what you want your business to be can evolve as well.
Exactly. And your brand story, you keep writing chapters.
Yes,
You
yes,
know, it doesn't stop, does it? When you form a company and go, right, that's my brand story. Lovely. Thank you. It isn't that, is it? It continues to be written and rewritten
yeah,
and, you know, I don't know, summarized and whatever, which is what you do, not me. But that, I think, as long as we realize that it's okay to flex it and change it and, you know, change direction when we want to. I think that's where, I think when we get constrained is
yeah,
where our creativity stops
yeah.
and
And I
the energy's wrong.
Yeah, and in one of your last pieces of content, I read how you were talking about give yourself space to
Yes.
think I think that's really connected to this idea that we are sharing of checking again how it's going on, and how you feel about things and your goals and all that. It's like for doing that, you cannot just be busy, busy, busy without space to
No.
think and to consider like what are your goals and where you want to your business to go.
Yeah. It's a concept I've never been really good at. Okay. So in my previous roles, I've been busy, 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 busy. And then when I was forced to stop, normally when I crashed and burned, that's when I gave myself the space. And I've really learned that that is not productive. That is not good. And so I encourage all of my clients to do CEO days on their own, take themselves away, you know, invest in some, you know, other things that can help them prompt their thinking. And even if it is just right, I'm going to craft an hour in my diary. I'm going to sit on the sun lounger with the notebook or not, and just be, not scroll
Mhm.
on my phone, just let the thoughts come, because our subconscious mind will present you things when you're ready to hear them. And when you're ready for that idea that you've actually had in the back of your mind, but you keep pushing it back because you're not ready, because I'm too busy or whatever, it will just pop up. And I always say my best ideas come on the sun lounger on holiday. I always go, I'm not going to work because I'm on holiday, and then I'm there with my notebook going, oh my God, I've just had a great idea. This is what I'm going to do. And I can't help it, because it's almost like you take away the noise,
Yeah.
and in comes the things. And that we are all incredibly creative women, even if we don't think we are creative. I think we are. And allowing yourself that time is so powerful, to just check in.
Yeah. Yeah. And this also, I believe, were related to these, like the stories that we told ourselves, and
Yes.
how we have space to just, yeah, be creative, and have space to just relax, and then ideas will came just as they are suddenly there. But it's like you are giving the space to do that. And then the stories that we tell ourselves about, I am, what is going on when you are so busy. The stories that you tell yourself are like more like you are not giving yourself space. It's like I there is no space for anything more. And then you don't have the capacity to analyze and see, okay, maybe this makes sense that I pay less attention to this, and I will create the space for this new thing that I want to do. But for that, you need to have the capacity, to just analyze what's going on, and then taking decisions based on that.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, I work with my clients. It's so we're so very good at telling ourselves negative stories about ourselves, and so that's obviously one of the things I sort of help my clients to reframe them, and to reframe those thoughts, so that the way they react to those thoughts drives the right action, the action that moves your business forward, or in the direction you want to be. It doesn't have to always be forward. It could be, I want to move it actually so I can slow down, or give it,
Mhm.
or sell it, or whatever it is. But it's about understanding and listening to those stories that you're telling in your head. And I think when we're really connected to our brand story, that helps us, because that's almost like your roots of your tree.
Mm.
And then it sort of grounds you, doesn't it? And I think we should
Yeah.
be proud of our brand stories. We should be proud of where we've come from, because
Yeah.
we're all incredible, right? We're all incredible. And there are nasty and niggly bits and horrible bits, aren't there? We've all got them.
Yeah.
Um, but they are what's made us who we are.
Yeah, and I have, because usually people would think that if it's a negative story, they might not share it.
Mm,
And I have an example of a client of mine. She's an email strategist for e-commerces,
mm,
and before starting her business as a strategist, she was trying to run a couple of e-commerces, and none of them went well. So at the end, she closed those. So it from outside might look like, okay, she's not sharing that part because it's something that didn't go as she planned. But then because of that situation, she was going really deep into, okay, what I can do with the emails to go, do better, and how I can refine these strategies, what are people doing about e-commerces. So she kept going deeper into this, and other e-commerce business owners were asking her for help.
ah,
And then now she went really, really deep into that. And now she's helping others. And she decided that she didn't want to run these e-commerces, and close her own. But this failing was
yeah,
actually what moves her to the direction that she's really now. And also is providing context about how she really understand them. She
mm,
was in their shoes. So whenever people are thinking about their own stories and their own journey, maybe there is a moment that you feel like, I don't want to share this. You don't need to do it if you are not ready. But if
yeah,
you are ready, you can use it as a takeaway, as a as something to provide the context of, okay, I have been in your shoes literally, I know how it feels, and this is one of the reasons why I started doing that. So you can use it even to highlight why is the reason you started this, why this is important for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can, and you can also really learn from them, right? And
Yeah.
then use the learnings to help your clients. I burnt out. I had a really bad burnout when I left my first job in Barclays, and crashed and burned megally, um, and that has definitely helped me work better and learn more about myself, and definitely helped me create more space and more balance in my life. And it's not been perfect, and I've dipped in back into the old habits and then back up. But it's, if I hadn't walked in them shoes, I wouldn't be the coach I am today, because I
Yeah.
see it in my clients, I recognize it, and I can help them with knowledge and experience.
Yeah. Yeah. So you have the emotional background of
Yeah.
going through that, and then you have the resources as a professional to help them. So you have both of that. And this is something that I highlight to people whenever they feel like they don't want to share, especially with around privacy. So you
Yes.
can share something in a way that is superficial. You don't go into the private details, but you share the lessons and you share the emotions that you felt in that moment. That will help you to connect. You don't need to go into details for connecting with your audience or people that is the first time that they are listening to you, and it's like, okay, a great tool to build that connection, especially with new audiences. Sharing your stories is a way to do that, but you are the one in control of the level of privacy that you want, or the level of details that you want to share. Go more into the emotions and go more into the lessons. And again, you just shared that yes, you went through burnout, but if you want to go super superficial, you don't need to go into any more details about the situation, but
No.
you can talk about, okay, the lessons that you got from there and how it's helping now with your clients, and the emotions that you felt, how you can relate to your potential clients because you have been feeling those and
Mm.
you know how it was. So again, you are the one in control to share how much you want, or if you want to just keep it like super superficial,
Yeah.
or in different scenarios you can go deeper, let's say in social media, or it's like briefly, but then if we are talking just in a sales call, you go deeper and you share some specific detail that will provide a bit of more context.
Absolutely. And I just think you need to feel comfortable with it,
Yeah.
and comfortable with what you're saying, and not put yourself in a situation where you don't want to share those information. But I do think that getting comfortable with how we've got to where we are is, and being able to share some of that so that people can connect, is a really good thing to do for your business, because of it fundamentally, whenever I've done it and whenever I've worked with clients and helped them to craft those stories and actually process it themselves, then I think that just frees them to be as great and to grow as much as they can. When you're holding on to it in a negative way, it will block your business.
Mm, yeah, because it's like you are not allowing yourself to grow as well, right? And
Yeah.
sometimes you know how I'm sure you have seen this, how sometimes we can like sabotage ourselves, and we are saying that we want to achieve this goal, but then we are doing, if you analyze, it's like you are doing the opposite things too. So it's going to be really difficult.
Yeah,
Yes.
I've got. I mean, I always have conversations with my clients about it. So yeah, I'm definitely going to launch that project. Yeah, I'm launching that project. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I've just got to get my landing page right, and I've got to get the list right, and I've got to get the payment links right. And I said, have you got a date in the diary for it? Oh yeah, yeah, I've got a date. Okay. So do you know people who would like it? Oh yeah, loads. Yeah, yeah. But I've got to get all of this right first. And I said, should we just put it out there for them and just ask and sort the other stuff up? You don't need it to be perfect, but there's
Mm.
so, you feel like you've got to do everything perfectly, and yet you're serving your customers and you're doing them an injustice by not just getting them out there and saying to them, I've got this great thing. It would be great for
Yeah.
you. Do you want to come? They'd be so touched by that you've approached them first. You can do the landing page later. You don't even
Yeah.
need a landing page. You don't need a landing page, you know.
Yeah.
But we really want to do it, but we'll just hide for a minute. And, aren't we? We're
Yeah.
our worst enemies. So um,
I
I,
think all of us can relate to that at certain point in our businesses, no matter what, right?
yeah, it's a bit like dipping your toe in the cold water in the pool and going, oh no, oh, I'm really hot and I really want to get wet and I really want to swim, but oh, that's too cold. It's exactly that, isn't it? It's so funny. And
Yeah.
we all do it. So.
Yeah, and yeah, I love to go back a bit about something that you share about. You don't need to overshare about the when you are like this visibility, and sometimes people are afraid of going and having more visibility of because of the consequences for their
Yeah,
life or the people in their lives, and that is like you don't need to overshare. You are the ones setting the boundaries and feeling okay, but this it's real that there is a certain level of skill, like practicing storytelling, practicing to share your stories. You will get more comfortable and you can hear from someone. And remember at the beginning, I was overwhelming for everyone telling that you need to use storytelling, you need to be vulnerable. I remember when I started as a VA. And I was like, I don't have an epic story. I don't want to be vulnerable and like in front of strangers. And it was like all these thoughts. And then it's like, okay, this can be digestible. You don't need to start by sharing everything. You can do a smaller step, get used to it, get more comfortable. And then you will see how practicing it, you will get better. And then going back to what you say, when you see the impact that you have, that your business and the work that you do has in others, is like, okay, this motivates me to put myself in front of more people because that will give the opportunity to work with different people, helping them in their goals and achieving what they want to do. So it's helping you to get in touch with more people. So at the end you see like, okay, this is beneficial, not just for my business, but also for my audience and for me as a person. So it's like you will get like this reward. So it's like, okay, it makes sense that I do this, that maybe at the beginning is a bit uncomfortable, but it makes sense for me and my business.
yeah, no, absolutely. And you and I met at a networking, and we saw on each other online, then we met in person, didn't we? And then we sat and chatted about our stories, and then you now we're like she's my person and I'm her person, sort of thing. And that's what it does, doesn't it? It connects you to somebody, and also makes you more memorable.
Yes.
You know, and I'll share my story in snippets. There's some bits of my story that are very painful, and I do not share. And I don't share because I don't want to be doing snotty crying. So I won't share them. But there's a lot of my story that I think I can help others with because
Mm.
I've walked that path. Um,
Mm.
and some of it's all very business and not personal. But having been in a corporate organisation and burnt out, for an example, is a big, it's a big part of my life that made me who I am,
Mm.
um, and that's important for people to know. I think,
Yeah. Yeah.
so it's all,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. So before we wrap up, I would love to ask you if there is something that we haven't covered and you think is an important message that you would like to share with the audience.
Um, I think we've covered quite a lot of what we do, don't you?
Mm.
And how I think it's important. And I mean, for me, it is just about understanding that your brand story portrays your why and
Mm.
your beliefs and your values, and people buy your values and you. They don't buy your website, your landing page, your lovely shiny course that you've got. They don't buy that. They buy you and what you're going to give them,
Mm.
and how you connect that is up to you, but sharing your brand story is an incredibly powerful thing.
Mm. Yeah, I think that sharing your stories is like a tool that you have. It's something that you don't make up. It's just something that you know truly. You are able to decide the level of details because you are the main character there, and then it's a powerful tool to connect, as you said, like to build trust. So this is really something that I invite everyone to see how sharing that you will share about your why, you will share about why you started this work that you do, and that will really help you to connect with the potential clients and the people in your audience, even not just clients, like collaborators, potential referrals, and all of that, even the providers. It's like, okay, you want to connect with them, you are working with them to
Mm,
achieve a certain result, so you want to have this human connection. So using your storytelling is a powerful tool for that.
absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So the final question will be like, do you think this intersection between personal brand story and business growth, can you summarize with one or two words?
Um, if I had to pick two words that talked about the connection between the two, I would say it is authenticity because it gives somebody the essence of you. And the other word I think would be I had trust down here, but I think it's authenticity is what it means for me. People get you then.
Mm,
Um, and the other thing I think is it's it's powerful. You know,
mm.
it's an understanding that is powerful.
Yeah, I love that. For me, I would say like personalization in the sense of
Mm,
your story is unique and is showing your
yeah,
personality, and also your version of success and your version of business growth is showing who you are, like your personality. So it's like, it's not, you cannot get the personal brand story from someone else and use it for you, and you cannot get the business version of success and get it like that. You need
yeah,
to go through it and see, okay, this is my version. And I feel that that is in common in both of them. Like you need to really go through them and see what is your version of it.
yeah,
And I think that's the beauty of it. We are so different and we have some things in common, and we can connect even if we haven't gone through the same experience. There are emotions that are similar and we can relate to that. So I feel that's the beauty, like learning about other stories, other people's stories. Like you can see how, yeah, no matter, I love to work with people from all over the world, and I love to learn about different cultures, different backgrounds. And it's so like I am so lucky to be like learning from them, and seeing how different things, but there are like common things in common no matter what. And it's like, yeah, it's a like a great place to be working around, so I am really grateful for that. And it's about the people, like the how people we interact with each other and what is important. I also work with people as you, like people that they have really something impactful that they want to help other people with that. So it's really like powerful to see how just using your story, something is natural to you, is helpful for amplifying that impact.
absolutely. Amplifying, that's a good word.
Yeah. Yeah, I love to use that because it's like you will have impact, but then if you use your stories in a way, it's like amplifying.
Love that.
So thank you so much for this conversation. It was lovely to have you and talk a bit about this topic. We might have other opportunities to go deeper or in other direction because there are so much to cover. But
Yeah.
thank you so much for being here.
Yay, I've absolutely loved it. You're an absolute pleasure. I love talking to you.
Thank you. And thank you everyone who has watched or is going to watch the replay. And if they want to learn more about what we do or to just reach out for any questions, all our links will be around us in the description. So feel free to ask any question in the comments or reach out to us for if you are curious about how we can help you or anything from this conversation, really.
Absolutely.
So